Warning, this podcast was produced by two men who still think that swearing is both big and clever. As a result, it contains quite a lot of it. Therefore, this podcast is not suitable for children, unless they're really fucking cool children. Yes, people, Dave Fensom here with another episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen, right in time for Halloween, recording this on the 29th of October, getting ready for my favourite holiday of the year because I love myself a little bit of Halloween, and what more appropriate album for us to be talking about than the album that includes the song Enter Sandman, Metallica's Black Album. This is one of my favourite podcasts we've recorded in quite a while. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. As always, get in contact, let us know what you think. Trying to tell you what's been going on recently. Just been kind of applying for Brighton Fringe shows. It's that time already. Looks like I'm going to have a couple of shows next year in Brighton Fringe. Hopefully some of you guys can come and see some of them. I'll let you know more details as and when I know them. What else can I say to you? Not much really. I mean, obviously I've got On the Edge comedy that's taking place this Friday. That's the 1st of November. Got the wonderful Julie Jepson, local Brighton act, who absolutely smashes it every time. Tickets are selling like hotcakes for that one. Presuming that hotcakes sell well. Don't know. Never bought one. As always, this podcast is brought to you by On the Edge Comedy, which is Brighton's best new act, new material night, taking place on the 1st and 3rd Fridays of every month at the Carolina Brunswick pub. We always bring fantastic acts, always handpick them, always stand by all our lineups. At the moment, for the rest of this year, it's only £6 to get in. We are increasing our prices slightly. But yeah, do come along on the 20th of December if you're about. That's my birthday special. Got an absolutely fantastic lineup. We're not announcing who that is yet, but we've got really shit hot lineup for that one. Tickets are on sale now. Please come on down and say hello if you're looking for something to do. Anyway, with no further ado, going to crack on with this special. Me and Krister, Waffles the dog, going to be talking to you about Metallica's The Black Album. Please do enjoy it and get in contact with us later. Welcome to Pop Collaborate and Listen, episode 12, season 2. I'm here with Krister Greer.
All right, how you doing, Dave Fenson?
I'm all right. We're here with Waffles the dog.
Waffles, he's under the chair. I'm trying not to kick you in the face, but if I do, I don't mean to.
Okay, I mean, please don't.
Oh no, I'll try not to. I'm just guaranteeing nothing that, it might happen.
I mean, I find this kind of disclaimer up front and disingenuous.
Yeah, it's one of these ones. Yeah, it's basically, you can't blame me if I've already said it. It's one of those ones.
Fair enough. Let's see how that holds up in court. Dog kicker.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, look, I'm back in the UK after a 10-day trip to America.
Yeah, you've been away for a little while, man.
I'm jet lag as fuck. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm looking forward to today though.
But you're full of the joys of theme parks and roller coasters.
Yeah, and sick in my feet. Yeah, discovered I'm actually quite. Roller coasters make me feel a lot sicker than they used to.
Oh, why is that?
Because I'm fucking 43, bro.
Oh, right.
Mate, that stuff gets you as you get older.
Oh, interesting.
A lot they've got a lot of these 3D rides out in the theme parks in Florida.
Right.
And motion sickness on those is a motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
I went on a Harry Potter one and I'd just eaten my breakfast. I'd eaten a Baconator breakfast at Wendy's.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it fucking was, man. You'd love it. Had a coffee and I nearly saw both of those items again.
Shit.
Had to leave the theme park and go and watch a movie.
Jesus.
True story.
Wow. And this is from like a hardcore roller coaster fan.
Mate, I'm not. It's going.
Wow, fair enough.
That was. It's not quite as much as my hair, but I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but it is a thing. It's
That's
fucked up.
Oh well.
But yeah, so no, the reason I'm excited today though.
Well, yes, this is right up your street, what we're doing now, isn't it?
Yeah, what album we doing today,
We
Krister?
are listening to Metallica's self-titled or Black Album.
Oh, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Krister Greer.
So give me your... right, it's 1991.
Yeah.
Dave is sitting at home. What's your relationship with Metallica so far?
1991.
Yeah.
No relationship at all.
Nothing.
1991, I am listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big thing. And it wouldn't be until the Freddie Mercury concert that I got into Metallica.
Right, we've mentioned that before because you saw them on... What did they play on there? Just a couple of songs?
They played
a couple of
Enter Sandman. They played Sad But True.
Right.
Well, I'll tell that story during the album.
Right,
actually.
sure.
They played a Queen song. I guess they played Stone Cold Crazy.
That would make sense.
I can't remember, but loved them basically.
But literally straight away, you saw them on there and went, "This is wicked."
Straight away,
I see.
Loved them.
Okay, and so that was 92.
So yeah, I went into this era of Black Album Metallica without any of the baggage of fans that were long-term Metallica fans. Because obviously, the thing about this album. It represents the first time them working with Bob Rock.
Indeed.
Represents quite a big change to the sound.
Yes.
Moving away from the kind of the big epic thrash metal stuff that they were known for. And this is a kind of a more chart bothering...
Well, this is a very different type of band, really, isn't it? Because this is the fifth album, and the previous four had been a lot faster and heavier and rawer and grittier, that sort of thing, haven't they?
For sure. I mean, if you listen to Kill 'Em All and you listen to this band, with the exception of, I mean, you could think they were two totally different bands,
right? You could be told that.
But anyway,
so in 91, you didn't know any of the back cat,
no.
And so you came into this in 92. This was your first introduction as an album.
And to be honest with you, I mean, I got into this album hard.
Oh, really?
Hard. I know this album intimately.
Indeed, yes.
I haven't listened to it for a long time as a whole record.
As a full thing, yeah.
But I know this album very well. But I know all the other albums. I know the first 5 albums very well.
Well, okay, yes. Yeah,
I got into all of those at pretty much the same time. I just had a big Metallica. Not as big as my friend Darren's Metallica phase, I've got to say.
Oh, mate, yeah, we've been to festivals with Darren watching Metallica, and I've never seen a happier man.
No, exactly. But, I had a big Metallica phase.
Okay, right.
So, what about yourself? Where were you with this record?
I was absolutely unaware. Well, not unaware. I didn't give a shit. And on purpose didn't give a shit.
Fuck that heavy metal bullshit.
It really was. I remember when Enter Sandman was released, I had a friend called Sean who was a proper fucking metaler. He was, your cut off leather or cut off denim top sort of shit, right? Proper into it. He's only a year or two older than me, but all he listened to was metal.
Right.
And I remember going to the record shop in Belfast. I bought all my stuff. The both of us went in, and he was so excited because he bought the 12-inch vinyl of Enter Sandman, day of release sort of thing.
Fair dues.
And I was like, what are you doing? What is this fucking nonsense?
Actually,
why aren't you listening to Ned Sonic Dustbin?
Yeah, I mean, what a choice.
I know. And
anyway, actually, bear me 1 second. I've just realised I need to make a quick adjustment for this. Hang on a second.
Oh. For the benefit of the listeners, Dave is putting on his denim battle vest. Fucking wicked, mate. Cut off sleeves. What patches we got on there, Dave, please?
I've got some Sabbath. I've got some Maiden.
Lovely.
I've got the
Slayer one down there.
Yeah, I've got some Carcass.
Right.
I've got some Baroness somewhere on the back there. I've got the Jolly Green Giant.
Yes, you do. Okay, in the inside.
I got a Beastie Boys patch. I've got my Tool fan club patch on the back.
Fucking right.
I'm doing all right.
Yes,
all right.
This is definitely the way to do this podcast. For
I mean, it's it's like a true metal kind of new wave of British heavy metal purists are gonna not enjoy my jacket so much because I don't have enough kind of bands with unreadable logos on them.
No, not at all. And it looks far too well kept.
Yeah. I mean, I've you know how I roll, mate. I'm a clean cut man.
Exactly.
Shave my head and my balls.
We'll get some images of that for the social medias.
I don't really shave my balls.
I hope not.
I get Waffles to pull them out with his rough tongue.
As I walked up here, I saw there was some clippers on the hallway and just a little tuft of hair.
Yeah.
And you do have a very bald head, and I'm hoping it's from there.
Yeah, it was straight hair. That was my hair. I'd let my hair grow out a little bit too long while I was in the theme park. So yeah. So anyway,
I was against this.
Yeah,
I literally was like, fucking what? They're called Metallica. Jesus, you fucking metalers. You're all the same. Like a dickhead, like a 16-year-old idiot that I was. And I didn't hear this album for years. Mm-hmm. Absolutely years. I remember hearing Enter Sandman in some of the clubs I was going to.
Yeah.
And I actually, because I probably didn't even know what it was the first time I heard it, I went, this is all right. Then I heard it was them, and I lost interest.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until years later that I heard some other stuff from the album and went, oh, all right. But then by that point, I had kind of broken down the metal barrier and was listening to heavier stuff than the kind of the indie stuff that I was into at that
Broken
point.
down the metal barrier.
Yeah.
That sounds like a name of a metal record.
It does. Yeah, well, Judas Priest can have that.
Judas Priest, breaking down the metal barrier.
Yeah. So I was in total seclusion away from this album. It was all going on in a different world to me.
Yes, I mean, I would say, like Sixth Form was the place I got into loads of heavy music, and I went into this already liking Metallica.
Right.
It would have been the summer of '92.
Right. Okay.
That I really, really got into this record.
Okay.
So that was my thing. But so for this album, when it comes out, 1991, I'm not listening to it, but I'm not far behind, basically.
Okay. Well, you're definitely you're closer than I am, because I was probably 95, that sort of time, before I heard anything else. Actually, no, 94, I heard 2 more tracks off it from in a friend's car. But it was 95, maybe even 96 before I heard a full album.
And I went to, I saw this album toured 2 or 3 times as well.
Oh, shit, right.
Yeah, I was at the Wembley Arena show.
Uh-huh.
I saw Milton Keynes Bowl touring this album.
Okay.
So yeah, I've seen Metallica so many times over the years.
Oh, absolutely.
I've probably paid to go and see them individually like 4 or 5 times, but then they've headlined probably 8
every other year
8 festivals or something that we've been at.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Okay.
I've got the records after these, but never really cared much.
No, well, that's kind of the consensus from everyone, I think.
Well, I think everyone is a big statement. I think
massive majority.
Massive majority, but you will find within Metallica fans people that will argue the toss for all of those albums, even fucking St. Anger.
Oh, mate, there's a guy at my work. I said to him, yeah, you'll enjoy this, because I knew he likes a bit of metal. You'll enjoy this one we're doing. We're going to be talking about Metallica's Black Album. He went, oh, right, cool. Do you see they just did a new S&M thing? I think it was just last week, they did the new recording S&M 2. I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even know that was happening. Fair play.
It was at the cinema over here. Like, had I not been in America, I would have said we should go and see it.
I see. Well, and he said, oh, yeah, my favourite Metallica album is S&M. I was like, okay. I mean, that's kind of a great state, so it's a bit of a cop-out.
It's a great record, though.
It is a great record, but okay, I'll give you that. And then he went, my second favourite is St. Anger.
And you're an idiot.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Matt.
Matt, you're a cunt.
Yeah, I thought that was just a bizarre way to go into any...
And you let this man work in your pub?
I know. Well, I might have to fire him.
I mean, mate, I would be worried that he's jizzing in your plates.
He is a chef.
And, mate, definitely fire him.
Chefs are all fucking mental, that's the thing. Right, do you want some stats on this album?
Yes, I do.
Right. So, like you say, this was a very different sound. It was a much more radio-friendly sound, much more MTV-friendly, etc., etc., etc. Because the new producer and because of the songs themselves.
Sure.
They were all encouraged to slow down their playing and to do, lots and lots of takes so that they got this perfect, nice sheen on a lot of songs. And it really fucking worked. This sold a lot of copies. It went to number 1 in 10 countries.
Yes, it did.
Including the States. By September 2018, so about a year ago, the album had spent 500 weeks on the Billboard album chart, making it one of only 4 albums to do that.
Nice.
The other 3 are Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon, Bob Marley and the Wailers' Legend, and Journey's Greatest Hits. So 2 greatest hits albums, and Metallica's Black Album and Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. It has never sold fewer than 1,000 copies a week since release. Right?
What, globally?
Globally. Oh, yeah, sorry, globally. Yeah, absolutely. Since its release. And in 2016, it sold an average of 5,000 copies a week.
I mean, I think I've bought this album 6 times. Right. Something around
really?
that. About that.
Right,
yeah.
okay. I'm sure, I wonder, that probably does include reissues and... remastered versions, etc.
I think I've lost this album a couple of times, and I think I can't remember whether I may have had a tape originally.
Okay,
I've certainly got a CD. Certainly got a CD now.
Yeah,
but I've had a lot of copies of this record.
Fair enough.
Never had a vinyl though. You got a vinyl?
I got a vinyl. I got a nice double vinyl on that. Yeah.
Fucking hell! Why have you got a vinyl and I haven't?
I found this second hand. I got this like a record fair for about £5.
Fair enough.
Back in about '96.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The album remained in the top 40 of the Billboard 200 until 2 years after its release, and it was still in the top 100 all the way through to 1994.
Fuck.
Yeah, it has sold over 16 million copies in the USA and it's the first album in what they call the sound scan era, when they use a different method of being able to record sales. It's the first album to do that.
Right.
So this is a huge album.
Yeah,
and
it's a monolith.
It is an absolute beast. It's 5 singles released off it. Each of those were pretty big singles as well, and they span release from July 1991 for the first single to February 1993 for the last one. So a year and a half after this album came out, they were putting out a single.
Yeah, and these were, to put in perspective, these were enormous tours they were doing as well.
Yeah, they were constantly on massive tours.
The tour cycle for this record lasted for about 5 years.
It was forever, yeah.
And, and every time they came around, it would sell out again, the bigger and bigger venues.
Yeah.
Well, I never got bored of seeing them in that era.
No, and obviously people don't, because they still sell out venues to this day, and they still headline huge festivals around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, massive. Okay, so that's how big it was. I think it's important to say how big a deal it was. This is the first, let's say, okay, for you, is this a metal album or a rock album? Is there a?
I think this is a metal. I think this is a metal album.
Yeah,
it's as mainstream a metal album.
Okay, sure.
As you can get, I think, and still call it metal.
Right.
You've got all the trademarks in there. You've got Papa Het's voices still very barky.
Yes.
You
you got huge solos all over the place.
Yeah. You got.
Yeah.
Of varying quality.
Yes, but this is just in terms of what I'm thinking of. This is the first metal album that we have seen in our run of this podcast.
Yeah,
and this by far an outlier for that sort of thing. But this is the one, because we've spoken a couple of times before, where an AC/DC album went in at number 2.
Yeah,
and I can't even remember, something else went in at number 15, for example. And we've always gone, oh well, that's the power of metal fans. The first week release. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest of the lot so far.
Absolutely.
Straight in at 1. Mm-hmm. Fair enough, it was only for 1 week.
In the UK.
In the UK, but it was straight in, and has outsold everything else in its genre.
I'm fairly sure there's a few artists here that would trade their 3 weeks at number 1 for the long tail that this record's got.
Oh my God, imagine.
The legacy that this record has got.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's talk about, reception-wise as well. Let's talk about the fact that this album did piss off a lot of fans.
Right, sure. Okay, so this is like the 5th album, like we said, and it's a very different sound.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of, very hardcore Metallica fans who were aghast at this new direction.
I've done my time within the world of metal,
Yeah, you got the scars.
Yeah, for sure, man. And there are people that are still pissed off about this record.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. There are still people that are pissed off about this record.
I'm surprised that there would still be people who would be on the offense about this one.
You'd be surprised that metalers didn't get over stuff.
It's a long time ago, and it's such a big album. Surely they're now going, actually, yeah, I'll give it that. It's a great album. No, fair enough.
No. People dig in, mate. People dig in.
All right, well, anything else you want to say before we get into the songs?
Well, we need to do the album cover.
Oh, yes.
As always.
Right, okay.
There's a lot to say about this one.
Yes, Spinal Tap.
I never really got quite to the bottom of whether they've seen Spinal Tap, enjoyed it, it made them laugh and they copied it, or whether they were blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's an almost black record. Some would say...
None more black, yeah, indeed.
But you can see the logo.
A very, very faint outline of the Metallica word logo.
Yeah.
And then
in the bottom left, bottom right, you've got the "Don't Tread on Me" snake logo.
Yes.
That was on quite heavily featured on quite a lot of their merchandise around this time.
Was it? Well, I imagine.
Yeah,
that would make sense. And on the back, it's got a bigger outline of the snake, and then just the song list. There's very little else on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Which is why it is known as the Black Album rather than Metallica in general. Inside, you've got some silhouette-y kind of
like negative images of and when I say negative images, it's not that they're molesting kids or something. It's just they're done in a negative perspective.
Yeah.
Again, those images all featured fairly heavily on some of the merchandise.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's still got long hair in Metallica at this time.
Mike, I watched the videos for these songs in the prep for this, and the hair is astonishing.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, really Lars Ulrich has got the skullet at this point, hasn't he?
God,
he's receding back, but he's not letting it go yet.
Yeah. It's quite something to look
there's
at.
Quite, as I recall, there's a few like white headbands and things in some of the videos.
I don't remember that.
Is he wearing a white headband in the Nothing Else Matters video?
He might be.
He might be.
I'm not sure.
Jason Newsted, or Jason Newkid, as he still was at this point.
Oh, true, yeah.
He's the only one with the undercut, as I recall.
It's awful. Every single hairstyle is terrible in a different way.
Oh, come on. I can't say terrible.
Oh, I can.
This is the point that James Hetfield, frontman James Hetfield, for anyone that doesn't know, it really looked the most like the Cowardly Lion that he ever did.
Yes. He's 1,000,000%.
Yeah, he really did. Not really much to say about it. It's an iconic album cover in that it's a fucking purely black album cover.
Yeah, I read that in some of the later releases, they kind of made the outline of the snake and the logo a bit more light grey, so it was more visible.
Yeah.
But the one I've got is, well, actually, that depends what light you're looking at it in, but this is very, very just plain black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very, very cliched.
Oh, God,
very cheesy, and thank fuck for that.
For what it is, it works brilliantly. I think it's a better cover than, for example, Kill 'Em All, because that's, a young amateurish band doing a very silly, not silly, but just a not very good album cover. The artwork is not very good on that.
I mean,
it fits it what it is, but it's not a great album cover.
I love that record so much.
Oh, sure, but yeah, if you saw that in a frame,
best Metallica album cover.
Best Metallica album cover. Master of Puppets.
Yeah, absolutely. Best Metallica album. That's a question. I'll ask that at the end. Right?
Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay, right. Okay, so let's crack on with the first track.
Right, okay, so first track and was also the first single.
I mean, I've heard this song a million times. A million times, right? And I had a fairly good idea what I was going to say about this song before I started listening back to this record.
Yeah.
Which was, it's a good song, but I've heard it too many times.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was going with it.
Okay, sure.
And then I started listening to it again. And I haven't heard it too many times.
See, really?
I haven't heard this song too many times. I was listening to this song in Asda before you came round.
Right, okay.
Before you came round, and I was still fairly sure I was going to say something, a little bit more dismissive about this song.
Sure.
And then I found myself doing the air guitar solo in Asda, and I went, I fucking love this song. And I don't give a fuck who knows.
Okay. This is absolutely the first one I heard.
Yeah.
And I begrudgingly did go, oh, fucking fantastic.
And every time you see him live, the fucking pyro that goes off with that.
Every time.
My God. Yeah, anyway, right?
But yeah, this is the first time I heard this band, and I begrudgingly liked it, because you can't fuck with this song.
No.
I had an image of them that I didn't like, and I had an image of metal that I didn't like, but you can't fuck with this song.
This song is perfect.
It's brilliant.
And James Hetfield's voice on this album, in general, is just at its peak, man.
It's for what he wants to do and what this band is doing at this time. Flawless. Yeah.
There are so many criticisms that you can throw at this album from a snarky, intellectual point of view.
Sure.
Right? This album is dumb in so many ways, right? It's overly self-effacing. It's, it wears its heart on its sleeve in an almost risible way, but
when
you get past it, you go, this is just a great song written by a load of people that are writing what they want to write, and this is the way it's come. It's come out as a great fucking piece of music.
It is. It's brilliant, and this is apparently one of the first tunes that they wrote for the album, but it was one of the last ones that had lyrics.
Yeah.
But they just came up with that riff straight away, and it stayed with them throughout the recording. Imagine writing that actual riff in that song. You'd be happy as shit.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. The lyrics are stupid.
Oh, God. I suspect that was probably one of my issues with metal, because that's what I thought metal was. Was this is ridiculous lyrics, about nightmares and the whole spoken word, now I lay me down to sleep, the drama and melodrama of that.
Yeah, but I tell you what, mate, what would you rather being in a field listening to? This or Radiohead?
Sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Radiohead.
Oh, no, we both big fans of Radiohead.
Fucking Radiohead, man. I love Radiohead.
Having said that, the only time I've seen them was headlining Reading, and they bored the tits off me.
I've seen them a couple of times. I've seen them really blow me away, and I've seen them bore the shit out of me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been bored watching Metallica.
Never.
Nah.
I've had the wrong kind of smile on my face a couple of times.
Okay, sure, yeah.
But I've always enjoyed them. And, at the heart of it, right, this is a podcast about pop music, right? And for sheer, just straight up, shit-eating grin, enjoyable music, there is very, very few places in the world that I would ever rather be than with a group of my friends after a few pints in a field watching this happen.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, of course.
And,
That's the best time.
It's the best time. And this is one of those things. It's one of those rare songs that just unifies a load of people. And you know what, man? I know there are people that hate this song.
Going back to what you said, if you had to name any Metallica song that's overplayed, it is, of course, this one.
Of course it is.
That is the one. And I remember whenever because I DJ'd in kind of rock and metal clubs, sort of mid-90s onwards for a little while. And therefore you're hearing it every week, week in, week out. In the same way as you can get very bored of Smells Like Teen Spirit and very bored of Killing in the Name, etc., etc. Yeah. But this still holds a power. It really does. This is a fantastic song.
Absolutely. Love this song. Just saw, actually, was in the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios whilst I was away, and I saw the Academy of Villains show, which was basically a kind of a freak show done to dubstepped versions of metal songs.
Oh right,
and this featured pretty heavily in it.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's
it's an easy one for people to go. We need a kind of a spooky sounding song.
Yeah,
we need something that will invoke the horror that I'm trying to convey here. Enter Sandman.
There you go.
Yeah,
and it's a cheap shot. It is overplayed. I don't see myself going, I'm going to listen to this song. Right?
No, I have the exact same.
I'm never gonna go. I'm gonna put this on.
This one up. No,
right. But if for a reason I have to listen to it, still like it.
Oh sure, it comes on shuffle.
Still like
Brilliant,
it.
Yeah.
See them live.
Brilliant.
If I saw them live and they didn't play this, right?
Oh, what?
I mean, I would. The thing is, right, if I wasn't thinking about it in this level of detail, I'd be at a festival, be talking about what they're going to play, and I'd be like, you know what? If they don't play that tonight, I'll be fine, right?
Okay, sure.
Right? Well, fucking, that's not true. That's not true.
Nah.
I need to hear it.
No, exactly.
I want to hear it.
You'd get to, they'd finish, and you go, oh, well, they must be doing it in the encore, and then they didn't play it. You'd be like, oh, something's very wrong.
Something's happened here.
Yeah.
Fucking Lars Ulrich's done too much cocaine again.
Again.
Download where he did too much cocaine and then fucking have different drummers.
Oh, well, that was a great show, though.
Yeah, it's a better show.
But, yeah.
it's really weird. It's almost like when Joey Jordison was playing drums, it's like, oh, this is what Metallica could sound like. Anyway.
But this single sold more than 500,000 copies on release in the States.
Wow.
And as we mentioned in a previous podcast, it was nominated for Best Rock Song at the 1992 Grammys.
Yeah.
But it lost to Sting's Soul Cages.
Can you imagine?
What the fuck?
Can you imagine being on that committee and being like, oh...
What's the best rock song?
This is my job.
What the fuck are people thinking?
Mate, what those people were thinking is, I'm very rich, I'm very white, and I really enjoyed the Police in the 80s.
And I want to be mates with Sting.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't want to be mates with these guys because they might hurt me.
Yeah.
But Sting's probably got some good parties coming up.
Fucking hell. Yeah. Terrible.
I know.
But
no, still fantastic. The video is pretty daft. Obviously, everyone probably knows the video if you know Metallica. It's the one where it's lots of flashing, strobe shots of this kid having nightmares of where he's drowning or where he's about to hit by a lorry. There's an old man who is the Sandman, we guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hair on the band. It's all very dramatic.
The money spent on that video doesn't, to me, suggest that the record company thought it was going to be as big as it was.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Obviously you're dealing with two things there. You're dealing with the fact the production values of videos are very different back in those days.
91, sure.
I mean, obviously the previous video to that was one.
Yes, well, this was only the second video, this one. So, one was the only other one they had to show.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Still fucking fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And a brilliant, brilliant opening track.
Absolutely. Mate, do you know what I would love to know about this song as well? Mm-hmm. I'd love to know what the yearly sync money that they get from this. What, just from the licensing and what it's appeared in.
Sure. Oh, imagine. I bet it's one of those ones in the States, especially where sports teams walk out to it and stuff.
Oh, mate, dude, I go NFL 4 times a year at least, and you'll always hear this over the PA.
Yeah. Yep. Huge. Absolutely huge. On reading up around Enter Sandman, I saw that there was someone had accused Metallica of ripping off this other song,
Right.
and apparently it was in like 2003 or something. There might have been a court case they were going to go.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember.
This is the first I heard about it, and I went and listened to the song that it was, and it's a band called XL, as in the spreadsheets XL, and the song
as in the spreadsheets. Which band? XL, as in the spreadsheets. Spreadsheets.
Word.
You got a point. A PowerPoint.
And it was out in 1989, and it's called Tapping into the Emotional Void. And if I just play a bit of this, it's the sort of thing where you can go, all right, look, I see where you're coming from, but is it really?
You can see it.
You can. It's not a direct rip-off, but it does sound like it. It does sound like Enter Sandman.
Yeah, I mean, what's the likelihood of them ever having heard it? Oh, hello. Oh, no, that's quite a lot.
So, yeah, it's not the exact riff, but it's very close.
Kind of sounds like if...
I'm sorry, I have no idea how big a band XL were in America in 1989. I don't know whether it was on the radio or if it was somewhere that Metallica would have heard it. But it's interesting.
It's interesting that they took the same formula.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You should be locked up in a cell.
It's
quite enough of that then.
Put you on Nelson's column. Rubbish.
No.
That doesn't make any sense at all. It sounds like you're trying to make a joke.
All right, so that's the first track. Everyone's happy. Track 2.
Sad but true.
Didn't even have to look at the track listing.
Don't need to look at the track listing for this.
And this was the last single. This was the 5th single they released in February 1993.
This is the track that they played on the Freddie Mercury concert.
Oh, is it?
No, because I know. Do you know how I know this?
Go on.
Because the next day, me and Darren went around Stevenage.
Come on. That's just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, the second best use of this version, right after the Kid Rock.
Yeah, well, there's no Kid Rock.
Fucking sacrilege that was. Fucking cunt.
Oh, dear.
No, I love it. But, no, because I'd heard this, I was like, right, we've got to go and find the album. I want the one with this song on it. So we've got to find the one with the song Saboteur on it.
Saboteur.
Exactly. Spent ages. Like, where's the one with Saboteur? I can't find it. So I was like, do you mean Sad But True?
Yeah.
I'm your life.
Yeah, this is a riff and a half, isn't it? Just pounding.
And that's this. I would say that this is one of the bits of evidence why you'd have to say this is a metal album.
Okay, sure, right. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll give you that, definitely. Yeah.
Because that's almost like a stoner groove.
Oh, it is. It's a slow, heavy, dirty groove. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's like what I would associate with Pantera. Kind of a couple of years later, that sort of shit. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that kind of big kind of groove metal. I mean, I'd say obviously most of the Pantera stuff was probably a little bit pacier than this.
Oh, definitely faster, but yeah, just hard and repetitive and non-stop, just driving.
Yeah, and
so good.
Like the way that the kind of the vocal has that kind of almost call response kind of thing that sits on it. Hey, betray. Yeah. Just the way that it syncs up. I mean, so much of Metallica is always in the rhythm. Right. Always, it's because obviously your main songwriter is the rhythm guitarist and the vocalist, so it's all in that rhythm. And the famous Lars Ulrich quote where he will say, like, am I the best drummer in the world? No. Am I the best drummer at playing with James Hetfield's rhythm guitar? Yes. Right,
okay.
That's the thing.
Right.
Probably he's wrong.
Yeah,
but
indeed. Yeah, I think provably wrong.
But you can't fuck with the drums on this track.
Oh no.
I mean, you could have more interesting fills and you could have other things, but
that's not what you need.
A rhythmic point of view, this song just kind of gets your head nodding all the way through. I mean, I love a head nodding tune, man.
Oh yeah, and
I'm a hip hop fan. I have to be.
Right, you do, yeah, that's true. And if you're talking about the drums, the production of the drums on this album is pretty decent. It's they're at the front. It's keeping you going all the time with that. It's not hidden away. It's not sounding ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
But the other bit in this album is that, I mean, again, I'm not an expert in this at all, but that the bass is higher on this album than previous ones, which gives it more of that groove as well.
Sure. I mean, that's the big criticism of Justice for All, isn't it?
Right, yeah,
because
it's just tinny.
I mean, because the argument is Jason Newsted came in having replaced Cliff Burton, who'd died. Obviously, the bass in the early Metallica stuff's a massive, massive part. Cliff Burton, kind of virtuoso player, essentially.
Right.
But obviously, Jason Newsted was, kind of whipped around and bullied, and, didn't have any power of argument, and basically his bass got turned way down in the mix for And Justice for All.
Right, sure.
And that's the problem with the sound, and, perfectly decent bass player as well.
Fine. But for this one, he was back up in it.
Exactly, and that's probably Bob Rock.
Yeah, I absolutely imagine so.
He's more from that kind of pop rock.
Yeah, he'd got formed with like Bon Jovi and
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. That's that sort of band. So yeah, exactly, a very polished rock sound.
But yeah, I mean, I love this song. This is probably one of my favourite Metallica songs.
It's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And, it's one of those ones as well that if you hear it, every time it comes in, it starts, you're like, oh, fuck yes. Yeah. This one, fucking brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. Lyrically, because I must admit, I've not really looked into lyrics before doing this. Yeah. I'm singing along to them as much as I can at festivals, but I've not properly looked into them. And so, is this about James Hetfield's struggles with addiction? Because it's kind of the inner you, the bad side of somebody going, I'm the only one you can depend on. You can't trust everyone else. Or I think you should do this bad thing, that sort of shit.
I mean, possibly. I mean, whether James Hetfield's whether James is self-aware enough to recognise he's got a problem with alcohol at this point. This is very much the Alcoholica era.
Right.
James Hetfield's got more beer written all over his guitar.
Has he?
Yeah.
More beer. That's the Wi-Fi password in my pub.
Is it really? Good work.
Turns out, again, just reading this a couple of days back, he was admitted to rehab in 2001.
Yep.
For what was described as alcohol and other addictions, one of which turned out to be chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so. Addicted to chocolate at that point. But then he was also admitted just 2 weeks ago, I think it was, readmitted to rehab after saying he was pretty much off everything.
Yeah.
they've had to cancel a load of shows.
Yeah, he's back. He's
back in rehab again.
Mad love to Papa Het, mate.
I know. Good luck.
I hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it's a onward. Must be fucking difficult though, man. Being out on the road with all that temptation around you all the time.
Sure. Oh, fucking ridiculous. But I wasn't sure. I wondered if it was that sort of thing because the song is sometimes about tempting and going, no, just fucking do this. Fuck the world. Do what you want to do. This sort of thing. Trying to seal you off from all your friends and everybody else, that sort of thing. So I wondered if it was a little bit of that, a paranoia.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's certainly, it's certainly very much that kind of the devil on the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a kind of point of view.
But then that very bit at the end where he goes, I'm you. That the I'm taking over. I am you. It's not just one side of you. Mm-hmm. This is what you are.
Yeah, it's like I'm your truth-telling lies. I'm your reasoned alibis. I'm inside. Open your eyes. I'm you.
I'm you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
maybe it could be that, or it could just be another good metal-sounding metaphor.
I'm the shitty bit of you.
Yeah, the taint.
The taint.
All right, well, 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah,
I mean that's a fucking strong opener.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Two songs in. 2 singles in, and 2 brilliant songs.
Yeah, 2 blinders.
Right, okay. Track number 3 then?
Holier Than Thou.
Holier Than Thou.
Quite a thrashy start.
Yep. It's faster than the first 2. Is this a bit more like the previous Metallica?
Well,
than those first 2 anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, you could, to a degree,
right.
I would say. Still vocally, it's quite different, I would say.
This was originally going to be the first track. This was going to be track 1 and going to be the first single.
That would have been a mistake.
Oh, totally. It was Bob Rock and Lars Ulrich, apparently, who said, this is the one. This is the big one that's going to, be huge everywhere. This is what we need to open with, and the first thing we show the world.
Yeah.
It was James Hetfield, apparently, who went, I think we should go with Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfectly decent song.
It is.
It's not as good as Enter Sandman or Sad But True.
No, I don't think it's as good as any of the other singles. I don't think it's as good as any of the 5 singles.
No, so the 5 singles are, let me see if I can do this off the top of my head.
Yep.
Enter Sandman, Sad But True,
Yep.
The Unforgiven.
Yep.
So were you saying this is a single?
No, it was gonna be.
Right. Oh, okay.
No,
so
in the end it's not.
So okay. So Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
And hang on a minute. Unforgiven. Wherever I May Roam.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would choose all of those over it. I mean, I would do a number of songs on this album that I would choose above this one. I think this is a really solid song. I really like it. I really like. I think the phrase on the verse as it starts off is not as interesting as some of the other bits and pieces that are doing. But once you start getting into the bridge and the chorus,
the chorus is much better, I think, on this one.
Yeah, it's kind of the most forgettable song on the first half of this record.
Oh well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's fair to say. I think
Still very, very good.
There's nothing wrong with this song at all. There's nothing wrong. It's got the first kind of harmonizing guitar solo we've heard at some point. It's got a weird kind of bass solo thing. Mm-hmm. Lyrically, it feels to me that it's about something very specific or someone very specific.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, people who spread rumors and chat shit about you and spread lies and this sort of stuff. And it sounds to me like there is something very, very definite that happened. Some one person or some one band said something, and this is a response. It doesn't sound like it's a generic thing to me, even though that's how it's presented. I reckon there was a very definite spark that begat this song. Who knows what that was?
Well, I mean, you'd have a stab at Mustaine, wouldn't you?
Well, you definitely think that would be one.
No more the crap rolls out your mouth again. Haven't changed. Your brain is still gelatin. I mean, you could.
Oh, you can absolutely put that into context.
When you bear in mind as well that Mustaine. I mean, is it around this time that he became a born again Christian? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Because Mustaine is a born again Christian. So I don't. I'm going to Google about Dave Mustaine.
I don't know.
The only song explicitly about Dave Mustaine was Enter Sandman, according to this.
What?
No,
what?
What? That's not true at all.
He gave children nightmares.
There's not really that much about it in here.
No.
But yeah, so, okay, fuck it.
All right. It's also one of the shorter songs on the album. It's only 3 minutes 47.
Yeah, okay.
So it's in, bang, done.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not a live staple. This isn't something you're going to expect to hear if you see them live.
Right.
It's kind of song, actually, probably if I heard it live, I'd be like, oh, fucking wicked, they're playing this.
Okay.
I mean, because we saw them play this whole album, didn't we?
Backwards, yeah.
Yeah, backwards. Which is probably the right way to play it in some ways.
Oh, it's absolutely the best way to play it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been all right if they'd have played it. I think I've got a love for this record that I've been okay.
Okay.
If they'd have done the whole record and then finished with a couple of classics.
Right, I would have got very annoyed with the track listing on that. Because
Okay.
I think this is very, very front heavy.
It is, but it becomes less so the more you listen to it.
Maybe so. And I have never been enough of a fan to actually listen over and over and have this as the thing I'm listening to right now.
I mean,
I was never that guy.
I mean, I knew this, when I was listening to this earlier, the tracks on this that I haven't probably heard since we saw them play it live, and I still knew all the words to it. Fine. So, it was at that point of, you've got 10 albums that you're listening to on rotation, and this was, up in the mix.
Right,
anyway,
okay.
right, so track number 4
Track 4 is The Unforgiven.
Oh, The Unforgiven.
Fuck me. Here's some fucking drama.
Yes, mate.
Love it.
Horns from the film The Unforgiven.
Yes, but played backwards?
Yeah. To disguise the fact they're from the film The Unforgiven.
Right, yeah.
I mean, surely the thing you want to do is just not call the song The Unforgiven.
that would throw them more off the scent. But it does sound like a Western theme.
Yeah.
That's what they're going for.
I mean, obviously they've been opening with Ecstasy and the Gold for years and years and years. The Sergio Leone thing from Good, Bad and the Ugly.
Yeah. It's no blaze of glory, but
I mean, I love Blaze of Glory. Don't make me argue the toss.
Is this...
Look, man, as cheesy as this guitar riff can be argued,
wonderful,
but it's so good.
This is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Oh my god!
No, it's wonderful. Is this a power ballad?
I would say it is.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, the story behind this is they wanted to come up with, because obviously they've done things that you could class as power ballads before, Fade to Black and bits and pieces like that. But whereas the mould that they normally done, and the classic mould for a power ballad is a lighter, more melodic verse with a heavier chorus. They flipped the script on it. Okay. And they went, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a heavy verse, heavy grinding out verse, and then go kind of lighter and more kind of acoustic in the chorus. Sure. And so and that's what they did. And this song is, obviously lyrically it's about it's kind of an outsider comes into a new tribe, has to kind of learn their rules, and kind of is persecuted, but somehow kind of carries on and goes through. And whether this, the irony of this song is it is essentially the story of Jason Newsted struggling to written by James Hetfield, who is by all accounts the chief architect of his bullying and initiation through Metallica. And I don't think this was written about that situation, but
it fits it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hadn't thought of that at all.
Yeah, it's a great kind of narrative song. It's got that very kind of Western feel, but it just feels epic.
Oh, epic is the right word. It is. It's huge and expansive, and because it's quite a slow one, there's a load of space going on that is just filled with the sense of everything. It is brilliantly done.
And I think Hetfield's voice is really dynamic on this. The way it kind of tells the story, kind of lilts up, kind of just kind of hits those higher notes. When I say higher notes, you know what I mean, within his register.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I just, this is just a great piece of storytelling music.
Yeah, and the video for this fits it brilliantly because it is almost like a movie to a soundtrack. It's not just a video; it's like a little piece. It's well done. I think.
I was singing along to this earlier, and fuck me, I was out of tune. I was so out of tune. It's harder to sing like James Hetfield than you'd think.
I can't say I've ever properly tried. I sing out of tune to everything. So
well, yeah, me too, man. Mostly.
I do love talking about his singing and the way he does stuff. Obviously, he's known for his yes and this sort of shit, right? But in this song, there's one particular ridiculous thing. I love it. The never free, never may.
That's really Northern Irish. Never may.
Exactly, that's wonderful.
Dub the unforgiven.
I dub the unforgiven. I know. Could you just put in some words that no one's ever said in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, I dub the unforgiven. Fucking
dub the unforgiven.
Fucking magic. This was one of the songs that I heard after the fact that made me go, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
It was 1994, and I was in the States, actually, and I was visiting a friend over there, and we were driving around in his wee car, and he had a tape of this album. And I knew Enter Sandman, so when that came on, I was like, oh, that's wicked, yeah. But then it was this one, and it was Wherever I Roam, that he would play over and over and over, because I was like, that is fucking brilliant. Rewind that one. That is good. And this one, The Unforgiven, totally sold me on this sound. Absolutely loved it.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Love this song. This was like when I went to see him live the first time. They had there was a T-shirt which was The Unforgiven, and I was like, that's the shirt I'm getting.
That's wicked.
This was my favourite song on this album first time around.
Was it? Yeah. This stood out.
Yeah, I mean, on an album of tracks that stood out.
Oh, of course. Okay, a rotational favourite.
Yeah. Rotational favourite.
Yeah. I was thinking on this one when I was listening to the lyrics, because like you say, it's about someone who's brought up not being able to be what he wants to be, and having the life and excitement just pummeled out of him, having to do the statements, having to conform, this sort of shit. And I wondered if it was partly to do with Hetfield's upbringing, because his parents were very strict Christian Scientists, and he would have had that you're stamping out everything that you want to do in your kid
Absolutely.
years. I wonder if it's to do with that as well.
I would imagine that is the case.
Part of it, anyway.
I wonder if that led to a lifetime of self-medicating and self-doubt.
Well, quite.
Who wonders? Yeah, parents fuck you up.
There's a line at the end of verse 2 where he does say, "The old man here is me." So I was like, all right, James, let's see where you're coming from. You're confessing here. Mm-hmm. This is for you. And it's obviously as well, it's obvious that he can't forgive what's happened. It's not like, oh, and now I'm older, I get it. It's like, no, still fuck you, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm now older and I can at least deal with it better than I did.
Exactly. And, when you dig into, kind of some kind of monster and some of the things he's saying post-therapy, it seems to be, that's some of the stuff that he's starting to deal with.
Sure.
That kind of that long-held resentment and anger. And, there's something to be said for long-held resentment and anger, though, if you're making records.
Oh, especially if you're making metal records.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to work for Take That, but it's going to work for Metallica.
Exactly. You're not going to hear a lot of Jack Johnson, the angry Jack Johnson, a fucking shark that pissed him off. Oh, by the way...
that time I only hung 4. Another thing I noticed, and this is just very, very ridiculous, I liked the bit because, again, in the chorus, where he goes, never be... never see. I was thinking, never D? Never E?
Never G. Don't join a gang, kids.
And this is also, there's a little bit, one of those things that you go, why have you done this? Fade out ending.
Yeah, I don't. We've discussed this before. I'm not a fan of the fade out.
No, it's a cowardly way out. There's a better way to end this.
Yeah. There used to be a second solo that they played live in this.
Oh, really?
I don't do it anymore. Well, I don't think they do it anymore.
No?
Yeah.
Huh.
Bit of a...
Solo in this is decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of guitarists really fucking beat up on Kurt Hammett.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. And, and I think that's one of those things where I go like, I know a little bit about guitar, but I can't play and I don't know enough. And that's one of those times when I'm glad.
Oh, I see.
It's like like becoming a comedian started to ruin comedy.
Oh, I see.
Not all of it.
But you're looking at different things. Like when you do a film studies degree and suddenly you can't watch, an average film anymore. Yeah.
I mean, I watch nothing but average films.
Well, that's my genre, mate.
Do you know what I watched yesterday?
Go on.
Phantom Menace.
Did you?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to watch all of them in order.
Wow.
So I've got to get through it. Quite enjoyed it as well. So fuck you.
Okay, well, I don't think I've got anything else to say about The Unforgiven. Anything else you want to add to that?
You label me.
Label you.
I'm going to be unforgiven.
Lovely. Right. So that's the first 4 tracks. It's the first third of the album.
Okay.
So let's take a little break and look at what else was happening in the albums this week.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so look at the albums. I should have said this at the top of the podcast, to be honest. The time period we're looking at is the week of the 18th to the 24th of August.
Right, okay. Oh, we're deep into the...
So we are, through the summer.
Okay.
We did have, because we're only doing number 1 albums that aren't best ofs, for the 2 weeks before this, there was the second Essential Pavarotti was number 1. I know.
Oh, we should have maybe...
Well, we can always re-record this.
The Essential Pavarotti.
The Essential 2.
How much is Essential?
The one Cornell ad, I would have said.
I mean, this is up there with where the Waitrose produce an Essentials range ironing water.
Right. Essential.
I mean, I don't believe that iron is essential.
No, well, it's in the same way as whenever Pete Tong's Essential Selection. I could have done without it, most of those.
I did do without most of those.
Okay, so the top 10 in that week. We are looking at number 10 is Madonna's Immaculate Collection. This is August, and it's still at number 10.
Yeah.
Right? So it's still
quite rightly so.
It's
travesty it's still not.
Number 9 is Deacon Blue's Fellow Hoodlums.
Never understood Deacon Blue.
No.
It's one of those bands where I'm like, am I going to hit 50 and then really discover Deacon Blue?
Go and see them do an acoustic show and you'd be like, right.
A ship called Memories. What was it called? Dignity.
Dignity.
A ship called Dignity. Yeah. Shite.
Number 8 is Colour Me Bad's CMB. I think that's what it was called. Number 7, Seal, which we've already done. Number 6, REM's Out of Time, which we did. Number 5, OMD's Sugar Tax. I don't even remember that.
I don't remember that
give
one.
a fuck. Number 4.
Didn't they? Is Sugar Tax? Is that the money that they made for writing songs for Sugar Babes?
No, they were Atomic Kitten.
Was it Atomic Kitten? Who was Sugar Babes then?
I think they were the ones that were touted as, well, we write our own shit. They obviously didn't, but there was no one famous behind them.
I thought there was.
And Andrew McCluskey from OMD was Atomic Kitten. I don't think he was a famous person behind Sugar Babes.
I'm going to look that up.
You look it up. Number 4 is Beverly Craven's self-titled album. Number 3 is Cher, Love Hurts, which we did. It was the last one we did, in fact. And then number 2 is Essential Pavarotti 2. So that was your top 10. The only other things I can find in the time period, I've given the 2 weeks that Pavarotti was number 1. Yeah. I looked in those 2 weeks as well, just to try and expand it a little bit. But there's not a great deal, if I'm honest. What I have seen is Extreme's Porno Graffiti was out, which was a big enough album on that scene.
Oh, it's a huge record.
Yeah, it broke them, that one, didn't it?
Without a doubt, yeah. I mean, as I got into sixth form, there were a lot of Extreme shirts around in the lower sixth form college in Luton sixth form.
I remember, again, I don't think it was the same guy who bought the Metallica 12-inch whenever I was with him, but I was hanging out with like some of his friends at times, and absolutely, they were talking about Porno Graffiti and how amazing a guitarist Nuno Bettencourt was.
Yeah, I mean, the talk of that still, persists. You can't argue with it. It's really fucking ridiculous guitarist.
I remember seeing them whenever they were on The Word doing Wholehearted, and I thought, that's fucking brilliant. I still think that's a great song.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the cusp of that.
Right, okay.
The cusp of that thing between, because I came in at a sixth form college and like Guns N' Roses was my biggest band, but also Faith No More.
Oh, okay, sure.
And as I kind of started to understand the aesthetics between the two a little bit more, I very much went from one to the other. I mean, I stopped wearing my bandana to school, for example.
God. Well, after the 10th or 11th beating, that'll happen.
There was a group of like Asian rude boys who used to call me Karate Kid.
Fucking brilliant.
No, it wasn't enough to make me stop wearing it though. Red bandana, later replaced with an anthrax bandana.
Jesus Christ.
Long fucking trench coat.
Amazing.
Cunt I used to look.
It's just as well you didn't shoot up the school.
Oh, mate, I looked like such a cunt. And I really did. But, yeah,
All right. Well, another album, Babes in Toyland to Mother, that was out this week, which I was kind of aware of at the time, but didn't give a shit because I didn't know any of it.
Never really listened to Babes in Toyland.
Nah, they weren't my thing. But the big one that I saw that came out this week is the self-titled debut album by Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
that came out.
That's the best Cypress Hill album.
I'd say so. I mean, it's the blueprint for Black Sunday. Black Sunday kind of took it and ran with it.
Sure.
But this is a fucking brilliant
album. I would say like Black Sunday is almost too similar to the first record.
Yeah.
More polished, kind of like you say, Chad Louis, but if you kind of, what would you prefer to listen to? Like When the Shit Goes Down or Hand on the Pump? Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, Hand on the Pump is so fucking good. How I Could Just Kill a Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like that first Cypress Hill album is just full of bangers. I mean,
it is, and it's only like probably 10 or 12 tracks. Where I know because I've got it on single vinyl. Black Sunday is a double vinyl. This is condensed. The first one is condensed, brilliant hip hop album.
See, I would love to have done that record. I'd love to fucking talk in more detail about that first Cypress Hill album. I think that's an absolute genre classic. Totally fucking changed the game as well.
Oh, it did.
But I mean, without Muggs blowing up in that way, you don't have House of Pain.
Yeah, very true.
And there's arguments for and against that.
Quite, yes.
But imagine,
all those everlasting albums.
Imagine hip hop without Jump Around.
Oh, totally.
I don't want to imagine hip hop without Jump Around.
Of course. So yeah, there you go. There's only a few albums, but Cypress Hill is a good one, definitely.
Oh, such a good record.
Such
a good record.
Yeah. But that's all I've got. So let's go back into Metallica. So yeah, track 5, Wherever I May Roam. And like I said, this is the other one that I heard it when I was in the States in my mate's car.
Bit of an Eastern feel.
Hasn't it? I've got the exact quote there on my little notes. A bit of an Eastern feel. This is the 4th single that they released.
Obviously, it was the name of the... Is that...
That's the bit. It gets there every fucking time. I reckon this is probably my favourite one so far now.
Oh, really?
Oh, I love this so much.
I mean, I love this too. Not my favourite.
Yeah.
It was that's the thing when you're arguing the toss about these singles. They are all fucking classic. That little
amazing. This is dark, brooding, heavy as fuck. The drums again when they come in, that ba 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 ba, that's beautifully done. Everything about this is pure brilliance. Great riff. Again, it's just that riff could just go on and on and on, and you'd be happy.
It slows down.
Bit of a breakdown.
And the world becomes my bride. And the road becomes my bride. I'm stripped of all.
And again, this is some really over nonsensical, silly lyrics.
Yeah.
But
Me satisfied. Give me what I need.
yeah, so good. So good. The lyric is about not wanting to be tied down, about wanting to be free to go wherever you want, explore, not wanting to be bound and constrained again, similar to The Unforgiven a little bit that way. You don't want to have to fit in with society's norms. You're a nomad, a wanderer, like you say, Yeah.
Call him what you will.
Call you what you will. But you want to be free to do your own thing. Mm-hmm. For me, that is a classic metal thing to do. Oh, yeah, you're a loner, but you're better than everyone. You don't fit in. Man. You don't fit in, but that's because you just got different views.
Just get your motor running.
It is.
Get out on the highway.
It is. It's exactly that. So it's a great anthem for those 17-year-old boys who are not fitting in for whatever reason, and their mates think they're a bit weird. Yeah. No, I'm a vagabond. I'm
an outsider. I'm an outlaw.
Precisely. So yeah, it's like even after death, carved upon my stone, my body lies, but still I roam.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane, but it's done with such fucking gravitas and seriousness.
Right, and the thing is, right, the gravitas and the seriousness, that is a beautiful sentiment. Like getting older, right, the more kind of restraints of life that get put on top of you, those are the things that fucking grind you down.
Oh, sure.
I haven't got a job at the minute, and I've never been happier.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's because the money hasn't run out yet.
Okay,
right?
Sure. Give it
that new business is not progressing, right?
Give it away.
I fucking have, and I've been back for 3 days, and I've played a lot of computer games and slept a lot.
Right.
But it is, it is as much as kind of some you can laugh at the execution of it a little bit. It's a fucking true statement.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with the feel behind it and the thinking behind it. Totally, yes. Mm-hmm. And it is. It's if this were in a pop song, if this were in, if the idea behind it was Beyonce, right, or Lady Gaga, saying, do your own thing, don't care what anyone else says, you go out and be your own person and explore the world, and you're an outsider, but that's okay. That's empowering. That is absolutely brilliant. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just because it's done in the type of song that it's a cliche. Because this is metal to the core.
Oh, for sure, man.
This is exactly greasy, long-haired, definitely 99% of them boys going to gigs and bashing up against other people in leather and denim.
Pack of smokes in your rolled up in the sleeve of your t-shirt.
Exactly.
A tattoo that you will never regret.
Oh, definitely not. No, that band logo, of course. No, for sure. This is, but when it comes to it, it just comes down to the actual tune. Fuck me. That is a brilliant tune.
Exactly, man.
It's an absolutely astonishing riff. I wish I'd written it. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I love it every time I hear it.
I wish I'd written it because it mean I could play the guitar.
Yeah, true.
And that'd be a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, so fucking good, man. So I'd say for me, that is my favourite so far.
Okay, I mean, it's top 4 for me.
Top 4 out of the 5 we've heard so far, right?
I mean, and the thing is, I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you whether I prefer that to Enter Sandman. I couldn't. I want to hear all 4 of those fucking songs live.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to hear them all live. They're fucking great.
Yeah. All right.
Track 6.
Track 6. Moving on to Don't Tread on Me.
Oh, Don't Tread on Me. Okay, I would have been out on that one.
Right.
I'd have been 1 track out on that one.
So this is Don't Tread on Me, and this is, like you said, the snake image on the cover is from the flag that this is on.
Yeah, and Don't Tread on Me obviously is Texas state kind of statement.
And I think we just talked over it, but the riff from America from West Side Story is that bit. So this is a very pro-America song. But the Gadsden flag that this is taken from has been used by a few, pretty dodgy organisations.
Yeah.
And I suspect that a lot of people who hear this song interpret it in their own way, which is possibly not what Metallica wanted it to be. I like that little rising up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That works.
I love this tune.
Yeah?
Always love this tune. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was aware of some of the kind of the politics around it. I don't think I knew the
right.
I don't think I knew the kind of the etymology of "Don't Tread on Me." I don't think I knew where that had all come from. But I just always loved this as a banging tune.
Oh yeah, and that's entirely fair.
That kind of crouch out, "Don't tread on me."
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just a slightly different pace to this tune. Like I say, that kind of rise in liberty or death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good chorus in this one. That really works for me. I like that, and I like the bit in that verse. But there are some bits where I feel it's a little bit flat in comparison to the rest we've heard.
Sure, there is a difference between the singles and the absolute classic tracks on this album and the others. But that gulf is not that much.
No, on this one sits. I would say this sits happily among the very good album tracks.
And again, if I'm going and watching Metallica doing a 2.5 hour set and they break this out, I'm going to be like, oh fuck, they haven't played this for ages. I'm going to be happy to hear it.
Yeah, indeed. And even these days, because apparently it was the Gadsden flag thing, which is the "Don't Tread on Me" and the snake, the coiled rattlesnake, it was taken on by the Tea Party whenever they were a thing, and it has been a generally libertarian phrase about big government and that sort of shit. But Hetfield has always said that that's not what he meant. He was just saying it in a "don't fuck with us" as a band, that sort of thing.
And let's not forget, Hetfield is a bit of a redneck.
Oh, he likes hunting.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit about that dude that I don't agree with. But he's a product of his environment, and I mean, I've just been in America and kind of reminded of hunting culture. And, there's a whole argument to be had there about whether going out and hunting for food is more ethical than buying it from a supermarket.
Well,
I would argue it fucking is. But if the choice, it's an interesting polemic to get yourself involved in, and much bigger than this podcast.
Well, indeed, yeah.
So let's not fucking bother.
Yeah, no.
Is the point I'm making. But I mean, he's a bit of a redneck dude.
Yes. I suspect I suspect he would rather this song wasn't, misinterpreted by the overly patriotic right of the American.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And the xenophobes. I think he would not be happy with that. But it's one of those things you kind of have to deal with.
That's because you're all part of Metallica's family.
Well, indeed, yeah.
Metallica's family. Fucking, if you a couple of years ago at Download, a very much post addiction, James Hetfield was very much on an inclusive vibe about everyone being a part of the Metallica family.
Excellent. Well, happy to be part of it, mate.
Yeah,
thanks.
We did have some laughs at that at the night.
Yeah. It's another short one. It's only 4 minutes long. It's another kind of punchy one. But I think it fits well. It's track 6, exactly halfway through the album. This is a good album track.
Yeah, it's a good stomper.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's move on to track number 7.
Is that of Wolf and Men?
No.
Oh, no, it's Nothing Else Matters.
No.
What the fuck, then?
Through the Never.
Through the Never. The name of the recent movie they put out.
I find this one a very strange song. I don't remember this at all, right? I knew the title. I was like, Through the Never, of course, that's a Metallica song.
Yeah.
Didn't remember this at all.
I remember the chorus.
Again. Right. Yeah, the chorus is much better than the verse. The verse, I don't think there's anything really happening. There's no big riff to hold it together.
See, I like that.
Yeah? Right, that's pretty unmemorable for me. Song about philosophy and the big questions, space, life, all sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think. I mean, when I was studying my philosophy degree, it was often Metallica I'd refer to.
I'm sure. Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember this being one of the more forgettable tracks.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's just kind of... whenever I finished the album, I'd have forgotten this by then.
Again, I don't think this is a bad song by any stretch of the imagination. And I think even going... it's not even what I would define as a pure album filler track.
Oh, okay.
I think of this as part of this record.
Right, okay.
Forgetting the fact that I just forgot what it was called twice in a row.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, especially if you had it on tape to start with. Yeah. You weren't skipping anything or, dipping in and out. It was all the way through, and then all the way through.
Even the best album in the world, right? There has never been, even if you look at something like, when you talk about hit ratio, obviously one of the classics to talk about is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, right? Even that isn't an album of 10 singles.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Even Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, sure.
You got Pretty Young Thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great track.
Yeah.
It's a great track, right? It's a great track.
Well,
yeah.
Indeed, yep.
And the least said about that, the better. But for a classic album to be a classic album, I think you've just got to have no
bad
duds.
songs.
And I don't think that Through the Never is a bad song. I think it's interesting that they chose to call their 2013 movie Through the Never.
Okay.
That's
right.
I mean, I never saw it, I must admit. It looked terrible.
Did it? I couldn't even tell you what it was. I didn't know it was the thing.
I think it was like live footage and a story going on, and I wasn't interested.
Fine.
And now I'm thinking I might go dig it out and check it out, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think this song is fine.
I think it's a 5 out of 10 at best for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go quite as low as 5.
Yeah.
I think I'm a 6.
Okay.
I think I'm a 6 out of 10. But, again, this isn't featuring on any playlists or anything along those lines.
No. It's exactly. It's all right. It's fine.
And it's like, again, if they played this live, this one, I'd be like, oh, they're playing this. Oh, what are they not playing instead?
Okay, sure. Right. Yeah.
I'd be
what's
like,
been bumped?
I'd have been like, I'd have rather heard The Struggle Within or something.
Okay, fine.
But, I shouldn't have spoilers.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. But the other issue that I suppose it has is it sits before track 8, which is Nothing Else Matters. And this was the 3rd single.
Yeah.
Out of the 5. And this is absolutely another one of the band's most kind of recognisable songs.
Right, now, this is probably the best rock ballad ever written.
Well, there's a question. Yeah.
I mean, this is probably, to me, the definitive hard rock ballad.
The Lighters in the Air.
Yeah.
Perfection.
I fucking love this song.
Oh, it's amazing.
Right? This song was spoiled for me by the fact that a friend who will remain nameless lost his virginity to this song.
Oh.
And told me.
Oh, I see.
At a relatively young age. So this song is always the image of two like fucking 15-year-olds banging each other is always haunted my back of my mind.
I see. Oh dear.
Which makes it a challenging wank.
This is fucking beautiful though. Is this the first time that they had any sort of orchestra on a song?
Oh God. I think so.
I imagine it probably is. And I also imagine that this was one of the songs that those old fans really fucking hated.
Oh, mate, I can't imagine. I would imagine. Yeah. I would imagine as many old fans hate this as illegitimate babies were conceived to it.
In trailer parks all around the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Mate. I mean, there are hundreds of fucking ill-conceived children.
Oh God, this in more than words. Yeah. But exactly, if you were a fan of And Justice for All and Master of Puppets, and then this came out as, again, a single off this album, I can see that you'd be like, oh, this is not my band.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the thing is, right, it is very difficult, I think, to listen to Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, Justice for All, and not make the case that this is a band selling out.
Okay.
Right? This is absolutely a band selling out. It depends what you mean by that, right? Because I came out in the 90s from a kind of fairly punk rock perspective. Like, I'd get really into hardcore and some of the politics of bands selling out and blah blah. And for a minute there, that really mattered to me. Yeah. Right. And in retrospect,
they had principles and they had to stick to them forever. Yeah.
And in retrospect, I couldn't give a shit. Fucking live your life, do what you need to do, right? And I fully believe that this is the album that they wanted to make at the time they made it. They had no pressure on them to make
a commercial album.
No, and they were selling out tours very well, very nicely. Thank you very much, etc. Already, Metallica were doing fucking well enough for themselves, right?
Yep.
And they wouldn't have hit that next tier of like multi-million.
No, exactly. They went up a level.
And you know what, man? That's just that point. There are very, very few people that get the opportunity to reach that next level.
Well, as we see from the headliners of Download every year, there are only a very few bands who can do that.
And you watch that across pop music. There are so few acts that have just got the, there is an enormous world of difference between like Taylor Swift and nearly everyone else of her fucking genre. Yeah. There are a million female singer-songwriters out there with a pop aesthetic, right? Sure. There's one Taylor Swift, right? And at some point, you make the decisions that get you to that place, right?
Yep.
And they made the decision to go in that direction, right? And what they also did is they went in the direction and they wrote the songs.
Well,
so that songwriting was within them to do it, okay?
Yes. These songs, if you tried to do them in the style of the previous albums, they wouldn't have worked.
But here's an interesting thing, though, right? When you see Metallica live, they will play this song and they'll play it next to Whiplash, for example.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the same band to me.
Yeah.
Because it's the same fucking band.
It is the same band, but I suppose neither you nor I were there in 1985, being, this is my favourite band in the world and this is how I identify.
No, you're absolutely right. And, there are bands that I've lost my shit at for doing... Right. For going in the wrong direction. If you're going to sell out, this is the way to do it, right? If you want to know how not to do it, listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh God, right.
No band has ever upset me more than the Red Hot Chili Peppers on the leap for that one album. When they went from Californication, which seemed like
it was good. It was a good album.
And then they went into By the Way. Yeah. And it's just like, this is what we're doing now. Yeah. And that's what they've done ever since.
Yeah.
And I've asked myself the question, were they always shit? And I just didn't see it because there were people that always thought they were shit. But I still go back to Blood Sugar.
It's a terrific album.
All I'm saying is whether this is a sellout or not, does it affect whether it's a fucking good record?
No, it doesn't at all.
And this is a great
doesn't
record.
At all, especially for the two of us who don't have the baggage of the previous ones. It is fresh and brilliant, and I've got nothing that I'm bringing to it going, I wish it sounded more like this.
Exactly.
It's just, as a standalone album, fucking fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what matters, like you said.
It's not like when Fall Out Boy came back with some auto-tuning.
Oh, God. When Enter Sandman went dubstep.
Look, man, I remember being genuinely disappointed by the second Limp Bizkit album. Oh, these guys are sold out.
Oh, my God. Wow. Okay, well, that's track 8, so we're now 2/3 of the way through.
Nice.
Should we take a break and do the singles? Okay, so single-wise, again, I'm looking at the same week that we did before, the week of August 18 to 24.
That's Jenny's birthday.
All right, well, in 1991, what age was she then?
7.
7, fuck's sake. Well, this is what the top 10 was. Number 10, Heavy D and the Boys, Now That We Find Love.
Good tune.
Which we've seen that one before. Number 9, this was a big single, and I remember loving this at the time. This was the mix. There's a few different mixes. This is the mix I remember. Do you remember this at all?
Yeah, Charlie Says.
It certainly fucking is, mate. Prodigy, Charlie. Yeah, this was number 9. And I bought the 12 of this. Loved it. Straight away.
I can't remember if I liked this at the time or if I got to like it later.
Really?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I was big into that one. And it's sort of thing, I think I bought that, and then I bought Everybody in the Place, came out after it. I didn't buy Out of Space because I wasn't a big fan of that one. But Charlie, I was fucking well into. Unfortunately, it spawned all of those dreadful imitations.
Trip to Trumpton.
Exactly, Rhubarb and Custard. Those awful Smarties with Sesame Street.
Oh, the Smarties with Sesame Street.
Fucking
Oh,
dreadful.
fucking hell.
Yeah, so indeed, if it wasn't for Prodigy, you wouldn't have had all of them.
Yeah.
But then you also wouldn't have had Fatherland. And
Yeah.
exactly. So you can forgive them. Number 8, and I loved this at the time. I bought this on 7-inch.
Oh, fucking Summertime, man.
Yes.
So this is the ultimate summertime song.
That's fair.
It's up there with, you know, you can...
Summer Breeze.
Yeah, Summer Breeze. Hot towel, summer in the city.
Oh, yeah.
Back of my neck getting dirty and gritty.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
That's all of Joe Cocker.
Oh, it wasn't Joe Cocker.
Who was it?
It was the Love and Spoonful.
Joe Cocker does a version of it, though.
Oh, does he? Oh, right. I see.
That's the version I remember.
Ah, right. Fair enough.
Loving Spoonful.
Well, it was.
Try passing that off to your wife.
That's what they were named after, indeed. But it's a fucking brilliant song. Summertime.
Oh, yeah, it's
It's
fucking
laid
great.
back beauty. Yeah.
It's probably the best Will Smith song.
I can't think of a better one.
Well, I mean, it's certainly nothing from his fucking solo career.
No, of course not.
I mean, anything.
I quite
We're
like...
going to have to do Big Willie style, aren't we?
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Oh, God.
Probably. Yeah.
That to me is the point, because Will Smith, I've got a lot of time for. Motherfucker has got charisma for days.
Absolutely.
But it lasts only so long with a cigar from Cuba Cabar. I don't like it. I just buy it. It's for the look, whatever the fuck that shit is. Fuck off. But Summertime,
brilliant.
Fucking Jazzy Jeff on the fucking cuts.
Oh, yeah, it's straight up classic.
Straight up classic.
Yeah, indeed. Number 7 is one, I think we mentioned this at some point, Bomb the Bass with Winter in July. But that was number 7, so apparently that was a bigger hit than I remember. Number 6 is The Shaman, Move Any Mountain. Number 5, and I'll be interested to know if you will get this, because while it's obviously dreadful, it might have been the sort of thing that you had heard.
I really thought that was fucking the theme tune from Minder. Is that Colour Me Bad?
Yeah, it is. Right. See, I wouldn't have got that. No, Colour Me Bad. All for Love.
All for Love, yeah. There you
Right.
go.
Yeah, I
did it all for love.
I see.
Yeah.
Nope, not a clue, mate. Not a clue. Number 4 is Extremes More Than Words.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I think this is the first time we've seen this one.
Oh, it's Set Adrift and Memory of Best Piano Door.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And this is number 3, so that's a big enough hit for that one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Number 2, and we won't dwell on this too much because we're going to have to do the album at some point.
Okay. Oh, God. Have to. That's a...
Too sexy for my love. Too sexy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, this was number 2. Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy.
We're going to have to get one of our bald mates in to do the photoshops for this picture.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Where'd you get Jenny to shave her head?
We just take photos with our tops off.
Oh, no. Nobody wants that. And number 1 is still Bryan Adams' Everything I Do, obviously. Because,
yeah.
Because
it will be for the next 2 years.
Exactly. But that's that's top 10. Other singles that were out in kind of the 3 weeks, the Pavarotti and Metallica time.
the Pavarotti and Metallica time.
Yeah, it was a good time for everyone. So something for everyone there. I think we've talked about this, and I seem to remember you saying that you weren't a big fan. I love this.
Apparently nothing. Brand new.
Yeah. Apparently Nothing, Young Disciples.
Young Disciples, fuck me. No, I like this song.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I thought.
No, I like this song.
Oh, right. I'm remembering a different conversation.
I generally hate acid jazz.
Maybe that's what it was. I remember when we were talking about Omar.
Yeah.
You're saying you didn't like the genre.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I like that.
I think that's a great song.
Apparently nothing.
Yeah. That's a good wee tune, man.
Yeah, no, I like that tune a lot.
That got to number 13. It was actually re-released. They released it the year before and it got nowhere. And then this was the 1991 release and it got to 13. So it was a bigger hit then. One that got to number 22.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Saturday, roller skating down Saturday.
Yeah, indeed. Good little tune as well. Nice and upbeat. Number 24, this one got to. I don't expect you to know this at all, to be honest. Partly because you hate the band, but also because it wasn't one of the big singles off the album.
That was a Blur.
It is Blur. It's Bang. It was like the second single out, or the single after There's No Other Way. And I had this. I bought this on 12-inch. I really like this as well. It is Leisure. The whole album is this. It's jingly jangly indie pop. Oh right, this one. I got to see if you know this. I had no idea this even existed. But again, this got to number 22 at some point in this period.
Let it roll.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh yeah, remember this one? Do it, do it, do it.
Time low.
Saturday night the club was packed, but I can't get no action. The girl I want is frontin' hard, I can't get no satisfaction. 1,000 people in the club and the music's thumping hard.
He had a live album out at this point.
Oh, fucking hell. It's Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
Yeah. With a song called Satisfaction.
Yeah.
I had no idea this happened. Absolute bullshit. Why would that ever be allowed? Yeah. So that was number 22. Other ones, actually, I think that's all I've got to properly play. There were some other ones that are worth kind of mentioning in terms of this was happening on the scene. Manic Street Preachers released their Stay Beautiful EP, got to number 40. We talked about our relationship with them before. Swerve Driver released Sandblasted, got to number 67. So that was, you got this indie undercurrent. This Swerve Driver, obviously a little bit shoegazy. Flowered Up, It's On was released, which is very cartoon indie.
Of course.
Mudhoney released Let It Slide, which is a great single. Primal Scream released Don't Fight It, Feel It, which only got to number 41, which I was surprised at, to be honest. But it's still a good single off Scream Metallica, which at this point still isn't out. So they're releasing singles in the run-up to it. And Teenage Fan Club's Star Sign got to 44 in this period. So there's a lot of very good, very seminal indie bands.
And let's forget, because that was the indie thing at the time as well, wasn't it? It was release a load of EPs before you put an album out.
There was a lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's kind of Stone Roses template, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it just in that 3-week period, that's a lot of what you'd call big hitters on the indie scene, or would be at some point 2 years down the line, doing a lot of good stuff. So yeah, it's a nice little snapshot of what's going on there. But that's all I've got for singles. So back into Metallica.
Okay, back into this record. The last third.
So track number 9 of Wolf and Man. And I feel a bit foolish saying these words, but this is particularly ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
on an album of stupidness.
Yeah,
this is particularly out there.
I've always had a very soft spot for this.
Have
song.
you?
I love this
Yeah?
one. Yeah, this is probably my favourite non-single track on this album.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of this. Like, shape shift, all of that stuff.
The whole cartooniness of it.
Yeah.
Does that bother you at all, or do you like that, or is it just like, well, that's what's happening?
I think first time around, I probably wasn't discriminating enough to be bothered by it.
Okay.
Right. And now I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
the silliness value adds something.
Yeah. It is. I think I was probably able to take it somewhat seriously first time around.
Yeah. A song about being a werewolf.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really cast myself into that. I mean, I was, I was smart and sarcastic at that time. So, I don't know. I don't know. I never remember thinking of this one as being super ridiculously cheesy.
No.
I don't. Right?
No, okay.
But I know it is.
Oh,
Okay.
it's of course it is. It's about being a
but
werewolf.
after the meeting, life.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh, tune-wise, it's okay. The guitar solo, I'm not a big fan of.
Run.
And the spoken word bit is very, very silly.
Yeah.
I might just drop that in
Oh,
the
yeah.
edits
Please
there.
do. Please do.
I feel a change. Back to a better day. The hair stands on the back of my neck. Wildness is the preservation of the world. So seek the wolf in thyself.
No, I mean, it's a song about turning into a werewolf.
It is.
That's fucking.
It actually is.
Yeah. I mean,
And you can read into it. You can go, okay, it's about turning into a werewolf, or is it another allegory for metalers running with your pack and being amongst your clan, and the other people are sheep, literally sheep, the normies, and they're all doing, society. What society tells you, you're a fucking wolf, mate. You can say that.
I mean, it's not 46 and 2, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, it really isn't. But or it might just be James Hetfield writing a song about being a werewolf.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Oh, no, absolutely. Why wouldn't he? Because he looks like the sort of man who would write a song about being a werewolf.
He looks like the kind of man that might turn into a lion.
Yeah, true.
He looks like the kind of man who was in the middle of turning into a lion.
He looks pause.
He looks like a man who's turned into a lion with a guitar.
Yeah.
I love this song. I think this is unreconstructed, weird fucking stupidity.
Yeah.
It's got a fucking brilliant bit of a riff that runs through it. It's got some
decent riff.
It's got some like kind of really nice kind of little kind of rhythmic stop-start bits in it. It's just a good tune.
It is a good tune.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a good fun tune, yeah. I think it's a strange one sitting amongst all the other kind of cathartic and confessional songs, and even the ones that are just a bit more serious and deal with, an issue of some sort. And this is just about being a fucking wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Or is it? Yeah.
Or is the werewolf the man that comes out of you when you've had a few drinks?
What is it exactly?
Because of your troubled childhood.
Yeah. Who knows, man? It's good fun. It's good fun.
Fucking wolf.
I suspect that's what it is. Okay, track 10 then?
Track 10. Track 10. My friend. No. Oh, God. It's not Struggle Within. Nope. It's not My Friend of Misery. Nope. It's the other one.
Yes.
It's The God That Failed.
It is The God That Failed. Very different sound to this in the intro.
And Skinny Bop at the start.
Yes, it is. Wow. Uh-huh. That's a good riff. Yeah, I like this riff.
Just
to me,
stomp in it.
If they were going to release a sixth single, I think this would be a contender for sixth single.
Interestingly, a song because there was a thing I think in. I should have fucking dug those out for this. Actually, I've got the program somewhere.
For these tours.
For these gigs. That was the point of going to gigs that I was at. That I would buy the program.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right, fucking hell, 20 quid for fuck all. Right, and I think there was a thing in that was a list of quotes, and they'd listed a load of negative reviews.
Oh, right.
And someone was saying they played these songs, they listed a load of the songs, and one of them was The God That Failed. Yeah. And it was like, up till this point, Metallica have never played the song God That Failed live.
Oh, I see, right.
So just calling people out on that shit.
On bullshit.
So this wasn't this song's rarely been played, I think. Live.
Is it? I'm not sure.
So I don't think, I like this song a lot, but I don't think it's held in the same regard. I don't think a lot of people would maybe agree that this should have been the next single.
No? Is it not a generally loved one amongst the fans?
No.
I see. All right,
but
well,
I think it's a really good song.
I think it's a good song. I also, I think it's a very interesting song. And this is obviously definitely about his parents.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned before, they were very strict Christian Scientists. His mum died of cancer because she refused treatment.
Yeah.
That their belief was that you shouldn't have any sort of medicine. You should. God will decide. God will heal you if he feels it's the right thing. And obviously, she died, because that's what will happen if you don't get treatment for cancer.
Yeah.
And Hetfield is still angry about this. He's angry about the role that religion played in his upbringing. And so the God that failed, it failed to keep his mum alive. It has failed people in general.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of a brave thing for a huge American act to say.
Sure, absolutely.
In 1991,
it
especially.
failed to prevent him from being half man, half lion.
Indeed. An abomination unto Christ.
Exactly.
Yes.
Get thee back, beast!
It's a good tune. Interesting lyrics. Pretty solid central idea behind it. Something to say.
Yeah.
I think this is a wicked tune.
Oh, it's a great tune.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
It's a song that would be the standout track on a lot of the albums that we've listened to this year.
Got to imagine. Of course it would.
I mean, it'd really stand out on that Aaliyah Adams album. What the fuck is this? I mean, to be fair, there were albums we've listened to this year that should have also been called The God That Failed. Should be a fucking category.
Yeah, God, Jesus. All right, so good one on that. Track 11 then?
Track 11, which is My Friend of Misery.
My Friend of Misery. And apparently this was initially going to be an instrumental. And they've had instrumentals on quite a few other albums.
Yeah, I mean, is there I don't think there's an instrumental on Kill 'Em All, but there is. Yeah, there are instrumentals, bass solos on quite a lot of their records.
Is that right? Okay. And this is the longest song on here. This is 6 minutes 47, this one. And there's some of the guitar sounds sort of halfway through this. It's very different again.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like keyboardy. I must admit, though, this one drags on for me.
Yeah, I didn't get much from this.
I
recall at the time this is the track you would live without.
Right. Okay. And also, I'm not sure if it's because it was supposed to be an instrumental and I therefore had that in my head. I don't think that the words scan very well. It sounds a bit all over the place.
I agree. Look, this is an example of if you listen to anything enough, you can kind of get to like it, I think.
Okay.
Right. And I don't think this is a bad song. Right?
Okay.
But I do think this album would be better without it.
I see. Right. It'd be leaner and
Yeah.
trimmer. Yeah, fine. Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Look, I quite like this song in a lot of ways, And again, like I remember when they played it, I was like really glad to hear it live because I think that the kind of the chorus, the "My Friend of Misery," that's fucking solid. That's decent. But it does meander a little bit, and not in there were a lot of really good, very long Metallica songs.
Sure. Oh God, yeah.
But the thing about Metallica songs, they go all over the fucking place, but every bit seems to have a purpose. And
there's something to grab you at each point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, fucking hell, you could trim 2 minutes out of Master of Puppets and it'd still be just as good. Because it wouldn't. It just simply wouldn't, right? You couldn't trim anything out of one. They're big, long, epic
8
songs.
minute or whatever it is. Yeah,
epic songs that need all of that. This is a big, long, epic song that meanders.
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
So I like this song well enough. I think it's a decent enough song, but it is the closest thing to album filler on this, and and it doesn't need to be 7 minutes long.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, well, we've got one more to go. So track number 12 is The Struggle Within. Sounds like a fox.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
We're into classic March territory, aren't we? Guitar. That guitar should just be called America.
Yeah. You can smell the Stars and Stripes on it.
smell the rocket fuel.
Yeah.
Rocket red glare up in the sky.
Yeah, you into this?
Straight away into that.
Oh yeah, this one does nothing for me.
Oh, I love that. See, that's the throwback to classic Metallica. You got that kind of thrash. You got.
Yeah, no, that's probably why I'm not a big fan.
See,
of it.
I think this is the perfect way to close this album out.
Yeah, I think this was. I would not have put this as the last track.
No, I really like this track. So
Oh, okay.
and the chorus in this track is fucking great.
I think it's okay. This doesn't do it for me. This one.
There you go. That's so good, man.
Right. Nah, I don't see it.
Nah,
Don't see it at all.
Again, I would say if I was doing non-single tracks,
Uh-huh.
I would, in like a hierarchy, I would probably go Of Wolf and Men.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Holier Than Thou.
Yeah.
Struggle Within.
Oh,
That's
really?
probably where I'd go.
Shit, okay.
And then so what else have we got after that? And we've got
Well, you got God That Failed, My Friend of Misery,
oh, God That Failed is good though.
Don't Tread on Me.
Yeah. Oh, see, it is difficult. It is difficult because you fucking go in. Okay. So anyway, so I like that one a lot more than
Oh
you do.
yes, yeah, absolutely. I think that was not the sort of Metallica I wanted to hear after hearing this album. I think it probably would have fitted fine on one of the previous ones, but those aren't my favourite sound of Metallica.
Fair enough. I really like those. I think for me the experience though was with any classic album, right? And I'm going to call this a classic album.
Oh, that's entirely fair.
Yeah, I think this is a classic album. That your journey is always the same way. It's like other classic albums. I would say, like for example, Appetite for Destruction, right? Appetite for Destruction. First year you're listening to it, maybe, is all about the big singles and the big tracks that could be singles that aren't singles.
Sure. Yeah.
But then the more you listen to it, the deeper cuts. If you ask me which Guns N' Roses songs I want to hear live most, I'm going to My Michelle and Rocket Queen are going to be up there.
Yeah.
Because those are the deeper album cuts that I really got into the more I listen to that record, because they're the slightly less familiar ones and they're the ones that take longer to get into your head. And I had, because I listened to this album so much, I'm well aware that some of the lesser cuts on this record I have a lot more affection for.
Right, because
than something that, if you're going into this and this is, as a whole album, probably, are they top 10 times you've done it or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I haven't listened to this whole album more than 10 times.
Yeah. So, and I wouldn't expect that, because, it would have taken me, kind of 20, 30, 50 listens to really get into, like Struggle Within being one of the affection for that track was born over an extended period of time.
Okay.
At a time when I was really malleable to new music as well. So, what I'm saying is I'm very aware that if I was listening to it for the first time or for the same amount of times as you, I may have the same
whatever.
Opinion. So it's difficult. That's the difficulty with these albums that you know really well. It's difficult to separate it out.
Oh, it totally
and be
is.
As objective
Totally
as
is.
Possibly would have been. But yeah. So so that's the end of the record.
Yes. So my first question to you is, like you said, you've not listened to the album in full for years.
Yeah.
As from start to finish in full. How did you enjoy listening to it in start to finish?
Oh, just as much as I always
really,
do.
yeah.
It was like, do you know what I mean? It was like finding a box of old photos and being like, oh, fuck, I remember this, I remember this, I remember this. Just fucking went on like a comfortable old pair of fucking trousers.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? Loved it, mate. Really, really enjoyed it. As I say, the things I was most surprised about is how things that I thought I was bored of, I wasn't.
No, well, that's fantastic. That's testament to how good songs they are.
And stuff coming on, be like, oh fuck yeah, this one, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Loved it.
Good.
Really, really enjoyed it.
And so the second question is, what songs we're going to put onto our ongoing playlist?
Oh fuck, I can't answer that.
Right, this is tough because we've got the rules are minimum of 1, maximum of 3.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to assume we're doing 3.
Yep.
There are more than 3 good songs on this. Mm-hmm. How do you whittle this shit down?
Okay, so the question is this, right? Okay, we've been here before. We're here recently with REM, for example, where we made the decision that we wouldn't.
That's true. We didn't put Losing My Religion on.
Yeah, because we're like, what that song sounds like, right?
And there were other as good to us songs that we put on.
And I would say that ultimately has to apply to Enter Sandman.
I'm fine with that. I don't think we need to put it on, even though we both love it.
Okay. I would say to a lesser extent, that probably applies to Sad But True as well.
Okay.
Because that's a song that's had a lot of airplay. So for me, there are maybe only 2 or 3 tracks on the whole album that I wouldn't put on.
Okay.
That I think are wouldn't
no one
do
needs
service.
to hear that.
Yeah, right.
Needs to, yeah.
Okay. I think because of how much you like it, we need to go Wherever I May Roam.
That's my number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I think we have to have that because of how much you like that.
Good,
right?
Lovely.
Okay, now I'm going to make the case for A Wolf and Man.
Are you?
I'm fucking right, I am, because I want people to hear that fucking song.
Okay.
I want people to hear that song, right? And you know what? I'm not going to be upset if I lose the argument. I will understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay.
Right. So I don't think we need to put Nothing Else Matters on here. I think that's...
All right. No, again, I'm fine leaving it off. It's an amazing song. Fine leaving it off.
Yeah. I would say Unforgiven, maybe.
That's one of my other picks.
Okay, so I would say those are songs that if you're an absolute Metallica novice or only a casual Metallica person, you could have avoided both of those songs.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
And it was those 2 songs played in a car in 1994 that I went, oh, right, there's more to this album.
Yeah. So I would say go with those 2, right? But I think we should have a non-single as the third one, right?
Right. Okay.
Right. Now, the choices would be, God That Failed, Struggle Within. I think we can straight away discount My Friend of Misery.
I would discount My Friend of Misery, and I would discount
discount Struggle Within
for me
because you didn't care for that. Okay, so that leaves us with Don't Tread on Me.
Yeah, I would also discount Through the Never.
I discount Through the Never as well.
Yeah, but Don't Tread on Me, Of Wolf and Man, The God That Failed. Oh, and Holier Than Thou.
And Holier Than Thou, right? Now, what song would you make the case for?
Of those 4, I would make the case for The God That Failed. That's the one that I enjoyed most of those ones.
Right. Okay. I like The God That Failed, but I think that's another epic mid-pace song.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So I don't think that's different enough from the 2 that we've chosen.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not enough about werewolves. Right. Okay.
That is true. On the werewolf scale, it's right down there.
I mean, literally, of songs on this album about werewolves, it is one of the least about werewolf songs. Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're giving me Unforgiven and Wherever I May Roam, I'll give you A Wolf and Man.
Shape shift.
Fucking hell.
It's got to be, man. It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's done.
Right. And what I would say to you is, if you've never listened to Metallica's Black Album, go and listen to it because it's a fucking great record.
Sure.
And as with ever, let us know what you think of it. Send us your review of this album on Twitter. But let us know what you think of this record. Let us know what you think of any of the records, and we'll try and incorporate some of the feedback in future shows.
Yes, indeed. And one thing, I said it on the intro for the Seal episode, but if you do enjoy the podcast, and we really hope you do, it's lovely to get the feedback. But if you've got other friends that listen to podcasts and you think they might like it, please do tell them. We're trying to get the word spread about it because we've now got a decent back catalogue of episodes that we're really happy with. Yeah. And we think it's a good one people can get stuck into. So exactly. Tell your mates.
Yeah, retweet us as well, please. If we love getting likes on Twitter. We prefer getting retweets because other people see them. Yeah.
But we also just love hearing your stories about your experience with these records too.
and send us photos of your dicks.
Because we just send them to each other and it's getting a bit dull.
Exactly. It's literally all of our DMs. Dick messages. Anyway, look, this has been Metallica's Black Album. Metallica. We've enjoyed the fuck out of this one. Should we high five?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Anyway, until next week, I've been Dave Fensom.
I've been Krister Greer.
He's been Waffles the Dog. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for checking out this episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. It was produced and edited by us, for which we can only apologise. We are on Twitter at PCL Podcast, on Instagram also at PCL Podcast, and Facebook.com/PCL patreon.com/PCLpodcast. All of these, plus links to our various Spotify playlists, etc., are on our website, which is pclpodcast.com. Please feel free to get in contact via any of the social media or on pclmusicpodcast@gmail.com.